that you feel like reflects how you could each weigh in?
Yeah, I think, if we have a concept that may be new to me, and I asked Joe about it, and he's had it in the past, that's kind of where the conversation starts. Just getting another opinion on how he's read it in the past and footwork, stuff like that. So that's just one example, but there's plenty of them. We're in the film room and some guy has a question. Usually everybody kind of gives their 2 cents and we all talk about it.
What's an example of a time that the rookies have asked you a question and how have you answered it?
Probably just going through a read in footwork. Me and Shadur talk about that a lot. Whether you're taking 3, 5, 7 from under center. There's different footworks for each play. And I think, more of the under center stuff, I'd say the college guys have more questions about just it's something new that they haven't done. So hopefully I can give them some good insight, on things that I do, things that Joe does to help them.
Kenny, as we come to the end of the spring, do you feel like the
Yeah, I think, coming in, learning the system, getting to meet my teammates and building that bond. And just working every day. You have to take it a day at a time. We're installing new things every day, so you may get that play that you haven't run one time. You got to take advantage of it. So I think it's gone really well so far.
How much of that bond is organic? How much you as a quarterback further things for the chemistry?
Yeah. I think it's always organic. I think in football, everyone we're all doing the same thing. We're all on the same mission. This is a great locker room to be in. So just being able to hang out with guys outside of football, outside of the field. Whether it's on the golf course, in the cafeteria, getting a bite to eat, whatever it may be, I think it's always a good time to get to know your teammates.
Does it help to have Miles here to look out there and see that he's there and know that you probably can get past him pretty much?
Yeah, his presence isn't felt in 2 days, I can tell you that. Obviously, playing against him, I understood that coming into it, but I had a scramble today and I was running down the right side and he was chasing me down like 25, 30 yards down the field. So, his effort and what he brings to the table, we all know. So it's great to have him here.
In your 2 years at Stadium, you had 6 fourth quarters come back in terms of the team. How do you count that?
I'd just say preparation. It's the ultimate team game. So, you need all other 10 guys on the field to do their job as well. So I've been a part of great teams. I've had great teammates that, when it comes down to it, the work that we put in, I trust that they're going to be where I need them to be. They know that I'm prepared and I'm going to get the ball where it needs to be. So it's a complete team game. That's we started the 2-minute stuff today and I thought it went really well. So it was a good start for that.
Talk about developing the bond, with the teammates and everything. Obviously, in a week or so, you guys are going to break for kind of the off season. How do you continue that and build off of that while you're kind of away from here? During that period.
Yeah, hopefully there's times where we can get together maybe once in this next 5 weeks, wherever that may be, to get a couple throwing sessions in, hang out, like I said, go golf and just be around each other for a weekend. Could definitely just help continue to build those bonds during that off time.
Kenny, both of the young quarterbacks, the rookies yesterday, mentioned just about the camaraderie, being around you, being around Joe, being around Deshaun, and just the room that you guys have built, while also at the same time you're competing for one job right now.
Yep.
Just from your perspective, what's it like? What's that dynamic like, where you're trying to help out the kids, but also at the same time you're trying to compete for a job?
I don't think, like I said the first time, we kind of talked about it. It's just such a natural thing that happens in all the quarterback rooms that I've been in. You just become, you're around each other for so many hours. You become friends. You're always joking about stuff. Like, you become really good friends, and you're working and competing at the same time. So it's been a natural progression in every room I've been in. This one's doing, the exact same thing.
Yeah, you were asked about Miles Garrett here at practice, but I want to ask you about preparing for him when you were the Steelers. What was that preparation like?
Yeah, you're going to get 4 hands on him at all times, especially third downs. You're sliding, you're chipping, you're putting 2 men on them, and that just affects everything in the pass game, because that takes out an underneath route where guys can start dropping underneath second level, third level throws. So he's truly a game record player, in terms of the game plan. So you always have to, know where 95 is and have a plan for him.
Kevin was talking about social media being like an outside noise amplifier. I know you guys try not to get it. I'm asking, your friends and family though, how do you have to ever try to say, hey guys, that stuff doesn't really matter? What are those conversations?
Yeah, luckily, going into my 4th year in the league and playing college football, I think everyone's pretty used to it by now, which is a really good thing. So, no one really talks about it, which is great. When I'm home and relaxing. And, I just want to spend time with my family, and work is work. So.
How can you empathize? I mean, like, you are part of a generation that like grew up without a phone, without social media, all this stuff. Some of these younger guys have just been a part of their whole life.
Right.
So how can you empathize with them as they try to navigate the world that's their real world sometimes?
Yeah, which is a shame. It's a shame. It should never be considered the real world when you see online and stuff. So hopefully nobody, buys into that. But I think the guys are handling it well. I never even thought about that. That's pretty true. I don't think it started coming around until I was like 13, 14. So yeah, it's different world growing up with social media. I think these guys handle it really well.
Kenny,
You've had an opportunity to spend a little bit of time so far here with Deontay, knowing him the way that you did, and so do you think that maybe you can be a little instrumental in making sure that he kind of acclimates well to the team? Obviously, last year he had some ups and downs, and what can your role be in helping him?
Yeah, just help him any way I can. I was talking to him a lot today in the field, in the 2-minute period, going through the play calls with him, where he would be, if he was at Z or X or F, and kind of, talking him through each play. So he's working really hard at it. It's great to have him here, and, I know that he's going to continue to do that.
You were in Philly last year, but from a distance where you're like, what the heck is going on with him? You were in Philly last year.
Yeah.
You traded and waited twice.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't really know what was going on. I try to stay off everything during the season. But, listen, I'm really happy that he's here. I think he can really help us, the things that he can do with his route running and ability. So it's good to have him here.
When he's at his best, what can he bring to the table?
One-on-one, he gets separation. I think he does a really good job of getting separation at the line, at the top of his routes. In and out of cuts, I think is probably his biggest strength. He gets in and out really well. So a lot of those third down, possession down, route running, which you need to be precise at, I think he brings it.
Kenny,
Just a couple more.
The way